So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through 4 to 5 MCQs. The purpose of this lecture series is twofold. Number one, if you have read that day's newspaper or covered that day's newspaper, whether through reading newspapers or by following our Daily News and Shorts lecture series, if you have covered that day's newspaper, well then your current affairs would get revised. And second, but more importantly, the second objective is that you get the much needed MCQ practice. MCQ practice is very important if you are serious about next year's prelims examination, and you have to start preparing for it right now. And you can do that just by spending 10 minutes every day with me on this lecture series, just by covering 4 to 5 MCQs from current affairs alone. Alright, 4 to 5 MCQs on a daily basis by spending just 10 minutes from current affairs would amount to 1200 MCQs in 1 year. Now, 1200 MCQs in 1 year from current affairs alone. I'm not talking about static subjects like polity, economy, geography, history. No, from current affairs alone. So 1200 MCQs from current affairs, you can achieve that only by spending 10 minutes every day with me on this lecture series. Okay, so by the time you're ready for your prelims examination next year, you wouldn't have to worry about current affairs portion. I can promise you that. Okay, now enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump to this lecture. Let's straight away jump to question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding INS Arighat. It is a 6,000-ton nuclear-powered submarine with pressurized light water reactor. It is armed with Sagarika missiles which have a range of more than 700 kilometers. INS Arihant and INS Arighat belong to the same submarine class and contribute towards completing India's nuclear triad. How many of the above statements are correct? Now look. Recently, Indian Navy commissioned INS Arighat. Now, INS Arighat is basically a nuclear-powered submarine. You all know about submarines, right? But submarines are of two types. One, submarines, the conventional submarines are known as diesel-electric. These submarines are powered by diesel engines, diesel and electric engines. Okay? But nuclear-powered submarines, we call them SSBN. Nuclear-powered submarines actually run on nuclear reactor. Okay, so the energy produced for powering this submarine is generated through a nuclear reactor. Alright, now India already has a nuclear-powered submarine called INS Arihant. Okay, now recently INS Arighat was also commissioned into the Indian Navy. Now through this, India now has 2 nuclear-powered submarines, 2 SSBNs. Okay, now INS Arighat is 6,000-ton nuclear-powered submarine, and which nuclear reactor is powering this submarine? A pressurized light water reactor. So pressurized light water reactor powers INS Arihant, it powers INS Arighat. Okay, first statement is correct. Now this nuclear-powered submarine can also launch nuclear missiles. Okay, now this is very important because India wants to complete its nuclear triad. Now what is nuclear triad? It is the capability to fire nuclear weapons from land, air, and sea. So India can fire nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles from land, fire nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles from fighter jets, air, and now with these nuclear-powered submarines, it can fire nuclear missiles from sea as well. Okay, so India has completed its nuclear triad because of INS Arihant and Arighat. Okay, this is also correct. Now, which ballistic missiles are aboard INS Arighat? So, Sagarika missiles, also known as K-15 missiles, are aboard this INS Arighat. So, INS Arighat has K-15 Sagarika missiles, which have a range of more than 700 kilometers and can fire nuclear weapons. Alright, so this is also true. Okay, now, let me remind you, both INS Arihant and INS Arighat belong to Arihant class of submarines. So they have the same class also. Alright, all 3 statements are correct. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding submarines in India. Kalvari class of submarines in India are nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, SSBN. Diesel-electric submarines have a better stealth mode than SSBNs. Project 75 was related to indigenous making of diesel-electric submarines and inducting them in Indian Navy. Okay, now remember, the nuclear-powered submarines or SSBNs that India has, INS Arihant and INS Arighat, both belong to Arihant class. Okay. Now the diesel-electric submarines that India has, most of the diesel-electric submarines that India has belongs to Kalvari class. So Kalvari class is diesel-electric submarines, not SSBNs. Okay. Now look, nuclear powered submarines are better than diesel electric submarines. Okay, they are better than diesel electric submarines. And how? Look, diesel electric submarines work on diesel engines. Diesel engines require burning of diesels, and you cannot burn anything without the presence of oxygen. Okay, so you need air to burn this diesel. That is why these submarines have to come to the top of the ocean or sea every now and then. And that is how they get detected. Whereas nuclear powered submarines can stay underwater for longer periods of time. Why? Because they are powered by a nuclear reactor. It doesn't require any air. Okay, so they don't have to come at the top. So they are better for stealth mode attacks. They are not that stealthy. Diesel electric submarines are not that stealthy because they have to come at the top of the water every now and then. Okay, so this is false. Diesel electric submarines have better stealth mode? No, SSBNs have better stealth mode. Now, India way back launched Project 75, under which India would manufacture Kalvari class diesel electric submarines and induct them in Indian Navy. So this is correct. You should remember Project 75. You should remember Project 75I. Okay, both of them. Basically, 75I was the upgraded version of Project 75. Project 75 is getting or inducting diesel electric Kalvari class submarines into Indian Navy. So only 3. All right. Question number 3. Consider the following statements. Pangong Tso Lake and Galwan Valley are at the heart of border dispute at the line of actual control. Okay. Shaksgam Valley lies in India-controlled portion of Ladakh. Okay. So which of the above statements are correct? Now you know India-China. There is a border standoff between India and China. Though the border dispute is as old as the Indo-China War of 1962, but recently in 2020, July of 2020, clashes between Indian and Chinese troops erupted. And they erupted near the Galwan Valley and Pangong Tso Lake. So Pangong Tso Lake and Galwan Valley, which lie at line of actual control, which is actually the border between India and China. So these 2 points on line of actual control are the reason for current border standoff between India and China. Okay? And these 2 portions, Pangong Tso Lake and Galwan Valley, lie at line of actual control in the Ladakh sector. Okay, so this is correct. Now, Shaksgam Valley is that portion of Jammu and Kashmir which went to Pakistan. But Pakistan in 1963 gave that portion to China. So currently China controls this portion of Shaksgam Valley, though originally it was with Pakistan. Okay, so it is not India-controlled portion of Ladakh. No. All right. The answer is only one A. Question number 4. Which of the following is our correct regarding India's sovereign credit rating? India's credit rating by Fitch, Moody's and S&P belongs to the investment grade category. Higher credit rating for India would make access to international funding easier. Okay. So all over the world, internationally, there are these 3 big companies called Fitch, Moody's and Standard & Poor, S&P. They give credit ratings to countries. That is why it is known as sovereign credit rating. Okay. Some countries have A plus ratings, some have A plus ratings, some have B plus ratings. Okay. All right. So all these companies, these 3 companies give sovereign credit ratings. Now, they have rating to India as well. And there are various ratings that they give. There are various categories of ratings that they give. Okay. So there is one category that is called investment grade category. Okay. It is AAA plus, AA plus, A plus, A minus. Okay. Triple B plus, triple B minus and BB and so on and so forth. It goes on till triple C. All right. Now, AAA plus to triple B minus is known as investment grade rating. That means investors can invest in these countries. All right. So India has been given a credit rating by Fitch. Fitch gave India triple B minus. Moody's gave India Baa3. They have a separate system. S&P gave India triple B minus. Now, triple B minus belongs to investment grade category, though it is the lowest level on investment grade category, but it belongs to investment grade category. Okay, so first statement is correct. It is India's credit rating by all these 3 belong to investment grade category. Okay, now India wants a higher credit rating. India wants to graduate to triple B plus, then to A plus eventually. Why does India want higher credit rating? Because higher credit rating would make India a friendly destination for investors. Investors would get a signal that it is safe and good to invest in India if India has a higher credit rating. And it would make getting access to international funding and investment easier. So this is also correct. Correct answer is C. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it added value to your preparation, though it would add more value if you're consistent and regular with this lecture series. So on that note, on that hope that you'll be consistent and regular, I'll be signing off. I'll take an exit. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you.